We do this work through the leadership of self-identified Asian and Pacific Islander women and girls. We emphasize self-identified, and we emphasize the leadership of Asian and Pacific Islander women and girls. A lot of times there's these images of what a leader is supposed to look like, and not very often does it look like the folks sitting here. And so what I want us to do is to populate those politics and that image as well, right? So that's what we're doing. Word. It's a very interactive conference.
We have to stop normalizing our suffering. We have to set a new standard for how women are being treated. And the first step in doing this is to tell our stories. Martin Luther King said, "I believe that the unarmed truth and the unconditional love will have the final word in our reality."
It's very rare that I find spaces where API women are having a critical analysis about what racial justice looks like, so I'm always happy to be in these spaces where we can move beyond some of the things like the mono-minority myth and start breaking down what our role actually is, and not only our own liberation, but the collective liberation of all of us.
Domestic violence thrives on silence, the same as every other abuse.
Here, I just scared. She's very strong, but I just scared.
Part of getting the world to understand intersectionality is telling your story.
All women, cisgender and trans women especially, particularly those from communities of color, continue to earn less, experience discrimination and gender-based violence, struggle to find adequate health care, and are underrepresented in positions of public and private sector leadership.
So when we're talking about violence today, we're unpacking all of that. We're talking about state-sanctioned violence. We're talking about personal harm. We're talking about generational harm. We're talking about harm from our policies. And then we're all gonna also talk about what does resistance look like? And often that stems from spaces like this. It stems from our own healing.
We have not had the power and the agency to shape our own narratives in the media. And a lot of the frameworks of the way that we think about who we are has really been defined through non-Asian American women-framed stories. And so I wanted to change that as a college student.
I think platforms like this allow people to speak up, which is great. And I feel like when we suppress things in our heads, it gets to our heart and it becomes emotional and it affects us in our daily lives.
So in whatever it is that we do, I just want you to know that when you fight for something, it's not only the people that are directly affected that will benefit from your work. It's also their loved ones and society at large.
You sitting here now, you are among people that you can identify with and that you can share your stories with.
Women know that their chains can only come off if they teach the village how to take off their own. Women look not only at the problem, but at the horizon. We see justice rooted in the new soil of a breathing world, patiently waiting for us, whispering in our ears to bring all of us there ourselves.
It's also my birthday weekend, and this is how I'm going to invest in myself.
Please also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and our Twitter account.